What is going on, you guys? We're back again with another video today. Today we're going to be talking about the long-awaited game that we're all patiently waiting for, BMX Streets. Before we get started on the actual video, you guys know that I got to get my plug. You guys watch enough YouTube to know that's how it goes around here. So if you guys are new around here, be sure to subscribe to be able to stay up to date with all the newest BMX Streets, BMX the Game, BMX Pipe, all of the information, all of the newest Dream Sport video games, including snowboarding game, skiing game, along with Skater XL and Skate 4. I'll be keeping you guys up to date on all of these games and more, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. It also really makes a guy like me happy, so I'd appreciate if you do so. Also, drop a like if you don't mind. I put a lot of time into these videos. The little face cam border that's around my head right now, I put nearly 5 to 6 hours into the other day, so please just drop a like for me. Today we're going to be talking about the long-awaited BMX Streets. I got a little bit of information. We're basically going to be talking about what we can expect, what we want to expect, what you guys want out of the game and what I want out of the game, and some things that we might know are coming to the game that's proven fact already. I just wanted to mention that we are playing a new map. It is called Applewood Park. It's actually imported off of Skater XL, and this is of course modded BMX Pipe that you guys are watching right now. So if you guys want to watch actual footage of BMX Streets, we'll be breaking down a couple of clips that you may or may have not seen already. So while we're discussing futures that we hope are coming to BMX Streets, futures that we know will be in BMX Streets, and everything along those sorts, we are also going to be exploring this new map on BMX Pipe. So with that being said, I'm going to make my way out of this area so then we aren't sessioning that same rail the entire video. It's really easy to get stuck on one future of a map when there's a whole... It's really easy to get stuck playing on just one future of the entire skate park when there's a whole skate park that we could be playing on. So we're going to try to keep things moving along here as best that we can. See if we can't get a fakie whip out of there. Cab whip, I meant to say. But on with the video. That was pretty sick. Little tree bonk deal. So we're going to start off with one of the biggest things that we can all expect. That was sick. I don't know why I can't ever get good stuff while I'm talking, but we're gonna start off with one of the bigger things that we can all expect and all want to be in the game, and that is of course multiplayer. I know that that's about the first thing I ask my friends when they tell me to download a new game is there multiplayer in it? I don't know if it's just me, but I've kind of started to shy away from games that aren't multiplayer. I generally am only getting online if I'm playing with my friends. Not too often do I fire up a game just to sesh all alone. About every big game in the market anymore is multiplayer, or at least has the option of multiplayer. It's just sort of taken over in the past 5 years or so. BMX the Game, they have a multiplayer option on their pause menu, but it does not actually work. It's a split screen option, not an online multiplayer. And with that being said, as online multiplayer games have kind of taken over in the past few years, split screen multiplayer games have almost died off entirely. I just want to touch base on this real quick though. Expectations are very easily taken too high. The biggest issue with expectations is there's no limits to them. I mean, expectations can be as high as your mind is, or your brain can come up with stuff that might not be as easy done as it is said or thought of. So we're going to try to keep things very realistic in this video, things that aren't too much to ask for. But I want you guys to drop a comment and let me know what you guys are expecting out of BMX Streets. If there's just one future that you guys really want to see, or even if there's just a certain trick in mind, drop it in the comments no matter how crazy or how realistic. But with that being said, let's talk about some things that we can expect out of BMX the Game, and it isn't too unrealistic to be thinking about. So what we are... I'm kind of focused on the trick here. It's really easy to get carried away in a trick mid-sentence and just lose all train of thought. So something I do think that we can expect to see in the game is an online multiplayer function. I'm not totally sure on split screen. I really don't have high expectations for it. There's that real small possibility that we could end up with a split screen multiplayer. I just don't see it being super realistic, being that we don't even see those in big games anymore. When we're talking games that are made by EA, they really are starting to do away with split screen as a whole. So I think that expecting a split screen option might be a little bit too much to ask for. It's not that it's not going to happen for sure. Like we say, this is just my own thoughts. Let me know down in the comments if you guys would play a split screen option, if you and your buddies are hanging out ever wishing that you could be playing BMX the game or BMX Streets in split screen option. I'd be curious to see how many people are actually looking for that future. So moving on from multiplayer, we're going to keep the topic on realistic things that we can expect to see in BMX Streets. Oh, I missed the manual there. And we're going to be moving on to the somewhat obvious of the bunch, a bike editor. I'm sure that you guys can be expecting to see a bike editor, as there's already been one in BMX the game. Not that it's actually easy to create a bike editor, but in comparison of creating a whole video game, it may seem a little bit less daunting of a task. So I think that we can expect a bike editor and be able to either change the colors of all of your features on your bike and possibly have other parts like BMX the game. I would not have expected them to have anything other than a color options. The fact that you can have different styled nearly every sort of part on your bike is really, really impressive to me. That was pretty sweet. I was actually trying to get up to a tire ride and get my back wheel on that ledge, but that was pretty dope. We got to get away from this spot. Like I was talking about in the beginning of the video, I always get stuck just riding the same spot over and over. It's so easy to do. One thing that kind of bummed me out and actually really surprised me about BMX the game's bike editor is there was no option just to be able to change colors. Oh man. BMX the game gave us all sorts of different options, being able to change style of sprockets, style of bars, style of cranks. Like literally every part, there's a good couple of options to have a whole different kind of part on there. Like say you have normal bars or you have 4-piece bars, things like that. I'm not sure if there's some weird coding issue that plays into that allows you to not be able to change colors of parts and the type of part itself, or what the real deal is with that. But it just kind of confuses me, being that we have the option of changing parts and colors on the house mod, a mod for BMX pipe. Check out my video on it if you guys have not already. I'll have a link in the description or on the screen right now. So moving on to the more obvious one, that would be the part creator. Next up, we're going to be kind of discussing that, but I really don't have a ton of insight on it. Oh, that was a nice karate kick. To be honest, this is really out of speculation, but I can expect there to be a part creator solely because BMX the game has one, and now that MASH Games has a little bit of competition in his hands, I can expect him to be keeping up with the competition and most likely blowing him out of the water. Although BMX the game's part creator is very impressive. I'm sure that you guys follow BMX Streets official's Instagram, but if you don't, be sure to go check it out. Recently he uploaded a video of not riding a BMX bike in a skate park, but riding a dirt bike in a skate park. So that really has me wondering what other vehicles we can expect to see in the game. It kind of starts to make me question if we're going to be able to see scooters, possibly mountain bikes, or possibly dirt bikes. It might be a good way just to be able to get around the map faster. Say if it's a large map and you don't want to pedal all the way through the town to get from one skate park to the other. Possibly be able to take the dirt bike across, which would be awesome in my opinion. I'm a big dirt biker. I recently sold all my dirt bikes to do the DanTheVanMan build. Check out the second channel on that if you guys haven't already. DanTheVanMan, link in the description. But it would be sick to be able to see a dirt bike in the video game. I know that I would enjoy it. Even just to be able to be playing around with the dirt bike in the skate park when you get bored would be a lot of fun. Say hitting these box jumps and stuff like that would be super entertaining. So in the beginning of the video, when I said don't have too high of expectations and we're going to try to keep it realistic, it really makes it difficult to know what is realistic and what is not with this next build that we can be expecting to see. I know there's mods that have been created and released already onto BMX Pipe of different sorts of riding devices like mountain bikes, dirt jumpers, things like that. So I don't know what to expect with BMX Streets, but there's a possibility of being able to ride more than just a BMX bike on the stock version of the game. That means for all you console players that can't mod your game, rest in peace. You guys can too also possibly expect to be able to ride mountain bikes, downhill bikes, dirt bikes, and who knows what else in the final version of Streets without having the ability to mod, which is really awesome. And when it comes to tricks, I think that we can have really high expectations and expect them to be met. With BMX Pipe, we had nearly every BMX trick in the game. I mean, there was only a handful of tricks that were left out, like foot jams and things like that, but modders were able to put those into the game for us, and we can expect a certain amount of foot jam tricks to be in BMX Streets. We have already seen footage released on his Instagram of not only foot jams but foot jam tail whips, so that makes me wonder what other foot jam variations we might be able to see in the game. If he's already been working on foot jam tail whips in the past, we have a possibility of seeing things like can jams and other sorts of foot jam variations. I think it's pretty safe to assume that every mainstream BMX trick that's out right now in BMX Pipe will be in BMX Streets, plus a good handful more added in. So I think that there's going to be a really wide variety of tricks to be done. That's one thing that BMX The Game really flopped on. The fact that they released a game with only 3 tricks in it, a bar spin, a tail whip, and a kind of funny looking table, was really upsetting to the BMX community. Last thing we're going to talk about is modding capabilities. After seeing how much the modding scene has blown up with this game, I would really not be surprised to see MASH games incorporate mods, or at least make it easier to mod on BMX Streets. I mean, the modding community on BMX Pipe is ginormous. This game has pretty much grown into a whole different game just with the help of some modders in the community. Now, console players, don't leave the video quite yet, because I'm really hoping that we'll be able to see not quite mods on consoles, because we're not able to modify files on console, obviously, so it takes away the ability to actually mod the game. That doesn't mean the option of modded maps is completely unrealistic for console players. I mean, we live in the era where DLC pretty much brings in almost all video games creators most amount of money. I mean, look at Fortnite, for example. They're a free game and yet are one of the most successful video games in the past 5 years. Keep in mind, this is all in theory and good fun, so this is not confirmed information. We do not know that that's going to happen for sure. All we can do is hope at this point for all of our poor console players out there, and even for guys like me who play on PC but do enjoy just being able to fire up the console and click on a game and play it without having to worry about any crashing issues or things like that. So let me know what future you guys are most excited for that I went over in the video, and let me know what future you guys expect to see in the video game. I know that there's a lot of stuff that we all really want and expect out of a game, but only so much of it is realistic, so keep that in mind. A lot of the ideas that you guys leave in the comments will make their way to MASH Games, the creator of the game, so he may see your ideas whether you guys know it or not. So be sure to drop them in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. I've enjoyed making the video for you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching it. Apologies for my gameplay not being the best. I know a lot of it has been pretty shoddy, as I've been focusing more on talking than I have playing the game. And it's actually extremely tough to play and talk at the same time, especially with a game like this that takes so much brain work just to do some impressive lines. But I hope that you guys have enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace. Holy